Yeah. Good morning. I'm Dr. Bosh P. Jordan Jr., pastor and founder of Hope Alive Outreach. They call me the Hope Doctor. That's right. Today we have a wonderful broadcast planned for you. We're going to be talking about addiction and sexuality. That's right, addiction and sexuality. I want you to share this with someone. Call a friend, a relative, a neighbor, someone that you know is interested in sex and addiction, interested in recovery, or wants some hope in their lives. The mission of Hope Alive Outreach is to give hope to all of God's people, especially those who suffer from the disease of addiction, primarily drugs and alcohol. If you want more information about us, you can get in contact with us through our telephone number, which is 443-250-9635. That phone number, again, is 443-250-9635. You can call us at any time. Make sure it's a 24-hour line. You can call us if you have need for us. Also, our website. You can go to our website, which is hopealiveoutreach.org, hopealiveoutreach.org. And on our website, we have our book, which is The Pipe and the Pulpit, which right now is selling for $11.95, but you can get it for $8.95. That's right. This book not only chronicles my life and talks about how I had a 30-year drug and alcohol addiction, but for the past 30-some years, I've been in recovery and giving a message of hope to others. And if you want to order our T-shirt, that's the Hope Doctor T-shirt, then you can do that. The T-shirt is $23.95. So if you order the T-shirt or the book, we'll send you a pen. That's right. The Hope Alive Outreach pen. It's a very nice pen. Send it to you free of charge along with your order. Now, if you just want to get the pen is $4.95 itself, and you can order it on our website, hopealiveoutreach.org, www.hopealiveoutreach.org. You know, we've been doing this for a long time. And Hope Alive Outreach has helped a lot of people. And so I'm looking for testimonies from persons that our ministry, our outreach has helped. And what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to either put it on video or call us at the telephone number, Hope Alive Outreach. That's 443-250-9635. Tell me about it. How has Hope Alive Outreach or the Hope Doctor helped you and your family? And we want to be able to utilize this for our upcoming book. We're in the process of writing a new book, and we need to get some testimonials in there about how Hope Alive Outreach or how Dr. Jordan or how the Hope Doctor has helped you. That would be a great benefit to us. Send it to info@hopealiveoutreach.org or call us 443-250-9635. Today, we want to talk about addiction and sexuality. Addiction and sexuality. I know that in my own personal life, things changed. Things changed as far as my own sexuality was concerned, interest, manner of dealing with it before recovery, during recovery. There's some information that was given out through the editors and the editorial staff of the American Addiction Center. And in discussing addiction and sex, here's some information that might be helpful. Substance abuse has a profound impact on sex. Sex and drugs always seem like a hot topic, and I can agree with that. And in the media and nearly in all social circles, it's a hot topic. But the reality of the situation is that sex and drugs can pose serious problems, lifelong consequences to those who engage in such behaviors simultaneously. Meaning, if you know that you are a practicing addict or alcoholic, and you're involving yourself in certain type of behaviors as far as your sexual life is concerned, there can be some negative effects. There are always inherent risks associated with drug abuse. And unfortunately, there are also serious risks involved with sex. This is true of each behavior independently. We can get in trouble even if you're not a practicing addict, having sex in an inappropriate way or at an inappropriate place. This is true of each behavior independently, and it is significantly exacerbated, meaning that it's significantly increased when the two are combined, when drug addiction and sexuality, meaning having sex with another human, collectively, those two together can have some negative impacts. Ultimately, when drug abuse leads to addiction, and I just want to say for one moment that just because an individual uses drugs does not mean that they are an addict. Some persons biologically, genetically, are not predisposed to addiction. And when we talk about addiction, we're talking about compulsive behavior. Addiction means habitual use of a person, place, or thing. So I just wanted to make sure that we are clear on that. Everyone who drinks is not an alcoholic. Some persons can drink sociably. They can pick up a beer. They go to a bar. They go to a lounge. They're at a party, and they're serving drinks. And an alcoholic more than likely is going to drink as much as he or she can while they're there. But a non-alcoholic can pick up a beer and sip on that beer for 3 hours. And when they leave, still half of the beer is left. We as alcoholics could never do that. Somebody ought to say amen. Not only true alcoholics are going to have a drink before the party, drink as much as they possibly can at the party, and when they leave, they're going to somehow or another either take some drinks from the party, especially if they're giving out cold beer or whatever, or they're going to have some alcohol in their car to get us through the night. And so if an individual like that is involved in sexual behavior, in eschewed sexual behavior, unlawful sexual behavior, spontaneous sexual behavior, it can follow you down the road. There's certain risks. This can include unwanted pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases, rape and sexual assault, prostitution, and other violent crimes. So if you're having sex and you have a drug problem, I want you to know that you have serious risks. Serious risks. Because if you are an addict, when the dope is in, the hope is out. When the drink is in, the mind changes. Sexual behavior can change. Our documentation and also my personal experience validates that. So therefore, sexuality is too important of a human function to risk damaging your life permanently or permanently. So I ask that you give us a call. The telephone number is on the screen. Call us here at Hope Alive Outreach, 443-250-9635. That's 443-250-9635. Today, while we're having this broadcast, we're asking individuals to comment. That's right. Comment, ask questions that deal with addiction and sexuality. One of the questions that comes to mind is, what is the difference between the sexual behavior of a practicing addict or practicing alcoholic and an individual who's in recovery or in sobriety? If you have some comments that you'd like to make on that, please put it in the chat. Please put it in the comment section. We'd like to be able to address that. Studies have shown, such as from the American Addiction Center. Listen to this. Unwanted pregnancies, lowered inhibitions as a result of drug or alcohol abuse often coincide with reckless sexual decisions, such as the choice of not to use a condom or other contraceptives. And when women who are addicted to drugs and pregnant, the person who suffers the most is often who? It's the child. So many children in America today are suffering because their mother was using drugs during the pregnancy. This is evidenced by recent reports that babies born addicted to drugs have skyrocketed in the United States in the past several years. This is because many women who are addicted and who are addicts do not seek out prenatal care and instead continue using drugs throughout their pregnancies without medical assistance. Ultimately, women in this situation who successfully carry their babies to term 9 months, they often put their child at risk of being born addicted. I think that when an individual is a practicing addict or practicing alcoholic, that they will put themselves in situations that can cause devastation immediately or later on in life. We're looking at sexually transmitted diseases. They spread rapidly through addict and drug abusers' communities. We can also look at herpes, hepatitis, AIDS, especially hepatitis, runs rampant in addicted communities. Addicts who contract these diseases will be forced to cope with them for the rest of their lives. These diseases, herpes, hepatitis, AIDS, they have not found a cure for that. This is a serious consideration for people who are addicted now and keep saying that, well, one day I'll quit. That one day could be one day too late. Another problem that can arise: injury, sexual assault, and sexual violence can result in permanent injuries that can impact a person's sexuality. I can recall when I was ministering in Baltimore some years ago, there was a female who was irate, drug user, irate with the behavior of her boyfriend. And we also have to deal with mental imbalances. she caught her boyfriend involving another woman and stabbed him 119 times. You talk about injury. Not only was he injured, he was killed. Now she's doing time as a direct result of her mental imbalance because of a drink or drug. Sexual disconnection. Listen to this. Years of drug abuse and sex may desensitize a person to the point that sex, while sober, isn't appealing anymore. Additionally, sexual trauma and or bad experiences during active drug use may cause severe emotional damage that may make it hard for a person to become close to another person in a healthy sexual way. Number 4, loss of an important relationship. Promiscuity, which means having sex on a regular basis with various partners. Promiscuity, listen to this, prostitution and infidelity during active addiction can lead to the loss of an important romantic and sexual relationship that you might not be able to repair once you become sober. Having sex while being a practicing addict outside of your relationship at home can be devastating, even if persons are not married. I recall some years ago, hearing this brother who he was a Caucasian, white American, male, had some considerable clean time, over 5 years. And he shared that at his 5-year anniversary, that evening he came home. He was all excited about having accumulated 5 years in recovery. And he was lying beside his live-in mate, his live-in person. I see we have some guests here. If you can put your name up, let us know that you're here. And also, if you have a question regarding addiction and sexuality, let us know. Let me know about that. But anyhow, this man decided, since he had 5 years clean, celebrated his anniversary. And we're talking about loss of important relationships. And we also talked about injury. So he decided on this particular evening to tell his girlfriend, who's lying in bed beside him, how a few years ago he had had sex with her best friend. He went to sleep to wake up with the sound of gunshots. Today he walks with a limp. We're talking about even in the 12-step program, when it talks about that 9th step, we made amends to persons whenever possible, except when to do so could injure them or others. And the others here was this young man. When we're having sex and being addicted and being in recovery, when things like this are done inappropriately, there can be loss of relationships, loss of life. Prostitution. I've heard many females in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, in the rooms of AA, 12-step programs, talk about how when they were using a drink or a drug, unfortunately, when they got broke, when their habit got to be a certain amount, they ended up selling their bodies, prostituting themselves, having random sex, which puts you not only in the arena of someone to get sexually transmitted disease, but it also puts you in a position where you are sexually transmitting a disease and you may not even know it. And then once we get into recovery, things change. When you're in recovery. Why do you say that? Because once you start practicing spiritual principles in your life, once you do a second step, which says we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Once we begin doing that, recovery has certain benefits in this arena of addiction and sexuality. Number one, we begin to think rationally. Our minds are no longer confused, disjointed, and altered because of a drink or drug. Now we're not drinking, we're not drugging, and we begin to think rationally. Number two, the mind is not influenced by drugs or alcohol or any mind or mood altering chemical. One of the things that happens to an individual when they are drinking, whether or not they're an addict or whether or not they're an alcoholic or not, once an individual begins to use a drink or a drug, it alters the way you feel. Even prescription drugs can be dangerous. They alter the way you think. You have to be careful even taking prescription drugs. You should take them as prescribed. As prescribed. Sometimes a prescribed drug can have an adverse effect on your mind and your body. I was at the doctor's myself 3 days ago, and I've been having some problems with my heart. And so I let the doctor know that I was feeling some pains in my chest. And after some research, he decided to change the medication because there was a strong possibility that the medication that I was on could be having an adverse effect on my body. So if you're taking a drug that is not prescribed, that is illegal, not only can the drug have an adverse effect on your body, but it can also affect your sexuality. The benefit of recovery for addicts, the benefits, number three, you have a support system. You have individuals who support you. You have a sponsor. You have friends who are in recovery. You can share in a meeting. You can share on the parking lot after the meeting. You can share on the way to the meeting with some persons who have your best interests at heart. And you can get feedback that you wouldn't normally think about. That's what's so interesting and so powerful about 12-step programs. Not only 12-step programs, but even when you have a friend who is of the same religious or Christian belief or spiritual belief that you are. You share what is going on before you do something that might be critical to your recovery or critical to your life. The support system is unparalleled. Number four, you're practicing spiritual principles. And when you're practicing spiritual principles in a 12-step program, if you're going to church, if you're reading some spiritual literature, if you're reading the Bible, we're talking about spiritual principles, practicing spiritual principles, which coincide with the law. I don't know of any laws that violate spiritual principles. The only one I can possibly think about is the commandment that says in 6 days that God made heaven and earth. On the seventh day, he rested and he hallowed it, which means that Sundays or the seventh day is a hallowed day. It's a day that you rest. And there was a time when they had the blue laws when the businesses were not open on Sunday. But now, due to capitalism, they are. Number 5, family can become more important. So if family is more important now, then that means your sexuality, your behavior, your sexual content changes. You're going to stay home more if you're married. These spiritual principles that you're working in your life, you'll be focusing more on your loved one, on your husband, on your wife. More time now is available for you all to conjugate because you are together. And number 6, self-care. Persons who are active in their addiction many times don't care about their physical self. They're bathing, they're washing their teeth, their eating habits. So many times I've heard of an addict's testimony, saying how when they were using, all they ate was potato chips and soda and maybe a candy bar. No nutritional value whatsoever. But now, self-care becomes important. So those of you all who have been listening to us this morning, I want you to know that there's hope for you, no matter whether or not you are in recovery or not. The principles that we have laid out here today can help you. And if you need more help, please give us a call. You can call us. You can call me, the Hope Doctor, right here at 443-250-9635. Our discussions and conversations will be kept confidential. If you'd like to donate toward our outreach, and it costs something for us to have this outreach, then you can send us a donation through Cash App, the Hope Doctor, $ the Hope Doctor. As a matter of fact, I want to ask that you do it right now when you're listening to this broadcast. Do it now. Or pay a PayPal, Hope Alive Outreach, through Giveify. You click Hope Alive Outreach, or the computer link that's on the screen. Or you can just write us a check and make it payable to Hope Alive Outreach. No matter how small or how large the donation. Today is the 30th of September. I would ask you to give us a donation of $30 today. That's right, $30 today. Write a check. Christmas is coming. And each year, Hope Alive Outreach has what is known as the Santa Claus toy giveaway on Christmas Eve for kids 12 years of age and under. And we do it at Jordan Park. Right outside there. And I play Santa Claus. My wife is Mrs. Santa. We have some elves, and we have some other persons who volunteer to help to give out toys. Last year we paid the rent for 3 tenants in Jordan Park. This year we're going to get back to giving out the toys. That's going to be on Christmas Eve from 3 to 5 at Jordan Park, which is on 9th Avenue, right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you have any questions, you have any more concerns, I'm Dr. Jordan. Give us a call, 443-250-9635. Write us. Give us a testimony. If you have a testimony about how our broadcast, our ministry has helped you, please write us, info@hopealiveoutreach.org. Or you can call me, or you can go to our website, hopealiveoutreach.org, www.hopealiveoutreach.org. Send us a donation. Or maybe you want to buy the book. You can get our book right there, the Pipe in the Pulpit. You can get that book, which has a lot of good information in there about helping individuals who suffer from the disease of addiction. It's $8.95. You can also get the T-shirt. All right, you can get that T-shirt right there, the Hope Doctor T-shirt. And that T-shirt is $23.95. And whether you get a book or you get a T-shirt, we'll send you our Hope Alive Outreach pen free of charge. Well, I'm Dr. Jordan. And remember, no matter what's going on with you today, there is hope for you. I'm the Hope Doctor. Have a great day.